We're shifting from reinventing an automotive industry to examining the communities that make reinvention possible in the first place. What happens when a community moves beyond connection and becomes collective power, economically, professionally, and culturally? And now I am so delighted to introduce our moderator of Collective Influence. Linda Laurel, sitting right here in the front, is a two-time Emmy Award-winning journalist and two-time recipient of the American Women in Radio and Television's Gracie Award. She anchored the evening news at Houston's NBC affiliate for nearly 17 years. And now she hosts the award-winning podcast, Our Voices Matter. She recently launched Civil Dialogues in partnership with Jean Becker, who's the former chief of staff to President George W. Bush.
Herbert Walker.
A national initiative that is absolutely fascinating and very appropriate for the time that we're in right now, on constitutional democracy to strengthen civic conversation across the country, which we all know is something that this country needs desperately right now. Thank you for leading those conversations and bringing us together. Linda's also been one of Marble Collective's earliest and strongest founders, investors, and ambassadors. So I'm just so honored to have you here again with us tonight to lead this important conversation. When I imagine this conversation, I couldn't imagine anybody else I'd rather to lead it, so thank you.
Oh my goodness, what an intro. Thank you. Whoa, thank you so much, Kristen. I really appreciate that. I'm very excited to be here with all of you tonight. So, something's really happening right now with women and community, and it's not a trend, it's a structural shift. As we head into the largest wealth transfer in modern history, with women projected to control more than 2/3 of US wealth by 2030. Did you hear that? Women will control more than 2/3 of US wealth by 2030. And you know what? We're not waiting to be invited into existing rooms, we're building our own. And tonight, we have 3 women who are doing exactly that. Each one has built a different kind of community and a different kind of infrastructure. And each is proving that when women lead and gather with intention, the impact goes far beyond the room. All 3 of our panelists are featured leaders and investors in Marble Collective, and each has built something extraordinary in the world of community and connection. Our first panelist is Anne Choquette, CEO of The List. Yeah. Woo-hoo! The List, of course, is one of the country's most respected private communities for high-impact women leaders. She helped launch Cosmo Girl, served as editor-in-chief of 17, and is the author of The Big Life. Please welcome Anne Choquette. Samira Salman is the founder and CEO of Salman Solutions and the creator of Collaboration Circle, an invitation-only ecosystem recognized by Fortune that brings together some of the world's most influential families. With 5.5 billion, with a B, in transactions across 25 years, Samira's career is built on her philosophy that RUM, relationships under management, are the new AUM, assets under management. She is a master connector who turns trusted relationships into powerful thought leadership, centers of excellence, and curated investment alliances. Please welcome Samira Salman. And Kristen Thomas, of course. We all know the incredible Kristen Thomas. She is the founder and CEO of Marble Collective, an AI-powered platform designed to centralize and amplify the work and legacies of remarkable women leaders. Before founding Marble, she built a 2-decade career in New York real estate, where she launched and successfully exited her own brokerage firm. Today, she is focused on building the connective infrastructure that allows influential women to be discovered, followed, and remembered, and to collaborate more powerfully with one another across industries. Please welcome Kristen to the stage. Let's talk about this moment that we're in, this moment where women are coming to the forefront. Our communities are exploding right now. Why? What is happening in this moment? Why do you think this is happening right now?
Thank you for asking me that question. I want to say thank you, first of all, for being here in this room, for all of you who came here on a night where you could be 10 million places with tons of margaritas. Thank you for coming here this evening. The rosé is good. But honestly, we need our communities now more than ever. And I really think, listen, we always needed our communities, but we have had this tremendous uptick and epidemic of loneliness that has divided and isolated women. The list did some research in partnership with two other members of the community at BC, at Berlin Cameron and BSG. 80% of women are lonely because of their jobs.
Wow.
It feels like isolation, it feels like overwhelm, it feels like a lack of support. You do not have to raise your hands. I know that you have all felt this feeling. And this loneliness is preventing women from moving into positions of greater power and influence. 50% of women have turned down a promotion or a job because of the impact on their personal life. But I see it like much more up close on the list. This is a community of high impact women, deeply resourced human beings. If these women are feeling isolated, overwhelmed, and unsupported, you can bet your bottom dollar that everyone is feeling this way. And this is why we need our communities, and not transactional communities, and not your family, your best friends. That's a different kind of relationship. You need people who have your back when it matters most. And we are on a mission, 10 minutes to togetherness. You all got a little togetherness bracelet when you walked in, and if you didn't, I think there'll be some when you walk out. It's a reminder to spend 10 minutes a day intentionally building your community. Reach out to someone, say, how are you doing? I've been thinking of you. You've been on my mind. I'm rooting for you. It's a really simple way to make sure that your community of people who you support will support you in return. You feel like you're walking into a room with that entire community of people.
I love that you said it's not transactional, and I know that resonates with you, Samira. So I want to pivot to you now so that you can talk a little bit about Collaboration Circle, because you are all about making sure that it's about relationships and it's not transactional. So share with the audience a little bit about your philosophy, and when you're talking about it, because I know the group that I know what you're building, and I know that what's associated with it is a feeling that people get when they're in the rooms that you convene. So talk a little bit about that.
Thank you. So when I started working in the private investment industry, I started working for one family, and I went to all these different family office conferences, and my badge used to say family office. And people would come up to me and they would just start pitching. They wouldn't ask me my name, they wouldn't talk to me and get to know me, they just started pitching. And from minute one, I was really shocked at how transactional our industry was. And after going to these things over and over and over, I was like, okay, I gotta find my people. Like, where are my people? I need to find my people. And so I just started hosting these little dinners. And what I believe in my soul is that a small group of people can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And I said, you know what? If we put the right humans in a room together, in a space that feels safe and comfortable and relaxing, and we have luxurious surroundings and incredible food and drink, this is how we solve big world problems. And so for me, the transactional nature, our nervous systems as human beings are not programmed to be in transaction. We're programmed to be in community. If you think about it intuitively, we had to be in a circle as primitive humans to survive. We had to be in a circle around the fire for survival. And I think you said it earlier that our brains, well, it was Christy, our brains have not This is exactly correct. Our brains have not iterated as quickly as the technology has, and our physiological systems and nervous systems still need to be in community with each other. So we love technology, but we're also doubling down on the human beings and creating that environment for us to connect and as humans and be in safe, loving spaces, build genuine human connections, and allow the transactions around us. So I flipped the model upside down, and it seems to be working pretty well because we have some Collaboration Circle members in the room. Raise your hands. Thank you.
So, Kristen, I remember when I first heard about Marble Collective, and I thought, finally, somebody is doing exactly what I need. Like so many of us who are tired of having to post on this platform and that platform and promote yourself to let people know what you're doing and how you're doing it, blah, blah, blah. One of the things that's so great about Marble is that you're doing all that for us. So talk about how you came up with this idea and what it is that you want people to understand about what makes Marble different.
Thank you. So we're talking about community and in-person magic and the magic and connection that we all feel in this room tonight, and how nothing technological can ever replace that, right? So Marble Collective is a web and mobile platform. We are an AI-powered platform. We are a technology platform, but our mission is to make the in-between rooms like this, curated dinners like Samira was talking about, where you put people intentionally in the same room together, and you do it with heart to create those connections that you'll never get on a Zoom call, over email, over the phone. What happens the next day is really inefficient. We're all very busy, as you were talking about. We take on the majority of household responsibilities often. We're building big careers. We have negative time for ourselves. So when we do find those moments of in real life connection, we wanted to build something that makes the in-between more efficient. And for women leaders in particular, you see women leaders up on stages, in podcast episodes, you get inspired. But what happens the next day is really hard. You might follow them on social media, and you're going to be fighting the algorithm next to food and all the other things that it wants to show you, and all the news and media inundation that we're overwhelmed by. So what we did is we created a platform that automatically gathers the digital legacy, the digital assets of women leaders. So your press, your podcast interviews, your books, your lectures and videos are all gathered into a centralized public-facing portfolio that anybody in the world can follow, from a student in India to an ambitious professional in New York City, to remove the requirement of self-promotion, so that everybody in this room can find that woman leader up on stage and follow them without them having to constantly promote themselves on social media.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
So, Anne, what are your members telling you right now? What do they need in terms of the community and what it can give them? You talked about the feeling of loneliness that so many are expressing. Where is the need? What is the greatest need right now, and how is the list meeting that need?
So it's interesting. Thank you for asking that question. And I loved the word that Kristen used about intentional, because I think that is the key. There are two core criteria to being a member of the list. You have to be senior in your career, you need some real heft under your feet, and you have to be generous with your contacts, your intel, your advice. Like, you have to pour into the community if you want to get something out of the community. And I think that, listen, not everybody wants to do that, right? That's not for everybody, which is why there are so many communities popping up, and we don't want to be, couldn't possibly, community is not scalable, right? You can't scale these kinds of human relationships. But what we need to do is to deepen the connection between our members. You can see how many of our members showed up here today for each other. And it is so hard to be an ambitious, high-achieving woman in business This is a community that never walks into a room alone. That 25 of you walked into this room together. We're on a WhatsApp chat. Yes, we're on a WhatsApp chat to making sure that wherever you go, someone has got your back. And that is what we need. We are in these social media spaces where it feels like people are watching you. You have to perform, right? We're in business meetings where it is transactional and it is what are your KPIs and how's the number and where's the deck and what's the thing. This is a space, right? Right where I'm getting, sorry, not to give you more anxiety.
Go ahead.
Hello. That's why we do not allow PowerPoints at Collaboration
Right.
Circle. They are banned.
Yeah.
The list is a space where you can take an exhale, where you can be in community with other women and non-binary leaders who understand what it feels like and who have been there and can offer their counsel and open their contacts.
And what has to happen in that community is development of a sense of trust, and that's a word that we've heard a lot. We heard a lot of that in the first panel, and I want to talk about trust a little bit right now. It's something that, as I travel around the country, Kristen mentioned the Civil Dialogues, this democracy initiative that I co-founded starting a couple of years ago, and as I travel around the country, you know, it's clear that we don't trust each other. There's a lack of trust in our systems, our infrastructure, our government, in each other, in our family members, in our relationships. And so, you know, part of what we need to do is to create a safe enough space so that people feel that they can trust one another in these interactions. That's what you're doing at the list. I know, Samira, that's what you're doing at Collaboration Circle. Talk more about the unique proposition that you have and how trust plays a role, especially in families that are very high profile and yet also under the radar. And how do you foster a sense of trust among that community?
So thank you for asking me that question. So when I entered the space, I knew the model was incorrect, but I did not know what the correct model was. And so my strategy was, let me just put the right people in the room, let me make it safe, and let me have the conversations I want to have and that I need to have as a person